Hey, it's David here. Welcome to this section of the recording. So today I'm going to talk to you about getting contracts back and ways to get contracts back. Do me a favor, and I'm going to give you a couple key features on this, but before I go over these key features, if you've not subscribed to my channel or this is your first time, click the subscribe and click the notification link down below. I'd love for you to be one of my lucky winners. I do a lot of live trainings and live interactions with my customers where I put it right up online, and I would love for you to just be able to interact and get notifications for it. Okay, so people will tell me that, and I've done video after video on this, and I have some of the comments and I have a few email questions on this. I've talked with people, I've gotten contracts out. How do I get contracts back? Well, the number one thing I see a person brand new in this business doing is they're at a learning phase. And the number one thing I teach in Warriors is to start off small. You've heard me on here. I mean, I see it across my desk. I've seen people get paid out tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in a month. And I've seen people make very little a month. I've also seen people lose major deals. If you start off small, you're going to learn the business. Meaning, let's say that I'm going to make a $300 commission, which is small, very small. And so people might say, wow, 300, that's some good money. It is, but you could do a lot better than that. And I mess up on something on the contract. I would rather mess up on a $300 deal than a $3,000 deal or a $30,000 deal. And it just recently happened with one of my guys. He did not follow through with all the paperwork the way it should have been, sent it to the county a little prematurely, has not gotten his client to get what he needs. And actually, this wasn't fully his fault. He had a $10,000 deal that he's now trying to go back and get his client to sign. And that breaks my heart because people need to know, and every county's different. So I say this because you need to start off small. Work on communicating with people. So you have a $100, $300 commission, and you don't get that contract back. Text the person, say, hey, why haven't I gotten these back? What can I do better? That would be a good way to do it. But let me give you a couple key features on what I do. So when I'm doing my contracts, when I'm doing a tax overage, I say my first contract to you is an assignment of interest. This will allow JD Vista to collect the funds on your behalf and get you paid. We will go ahead and set up the paperwork with the local area, whatever it is, county, and I don't always say county. I don't want them to know where the funds are, but I'll say we'll go ahead and set up the paperwork. We will go ahead and get this done, and we will go ahead and claim everything and retrieve the funds on your behalf. And it's called an assignment of interest. I say that to them and I explain it and I make it very simple. Do you have any questions on this? The person says no. Okay, the second agreement I have with you is what's called a contingency agreement. That protects you and it protects JD Vista. It's an agreement. Right now we have $10,000, JD Vista will get 30%, you will get 70%, meaning that there'll be a $3,000, $7,000 split. Do you have any questions on this? This will protect you, and this helps you because if for some reason one of us thought that the percentages were different, it's right here in this contract, and it says JD Vista, you agree to allow JD Vista to keep 30% of the funds. And I explain that to them. Do you have any questions on this? No? Okay, great. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead, and what's the best way to get this to you? Do you want me to mail it? Do you want me to email it? Most people will say email. Are you at your computer now? Yes. Okay, great. Let me show you the contracts and what they look like. And I'll forward them over what an assignment of interest and what a contingency agreement looks like. And I'm right there at the computer and I can explain it to them. That is absolutely priceless. It works really well. If they say no, I'll say, can you get at the computer? Can you be at the computer? That's what one of our coaches does, and it tends to work pretty good. A lot of times I feel the person out, and I'm not 100% successful here, but I'll go with my gut. So I'm talking to the person, and we're going back and forth, and like my last one, I could tell the guy was a total go-getter, and he goes, can I just take them to my bank and have them signed right now? And I said, well, one of them has to be on special paperwork, the state regulations. Let me mail these to you. And literally the guy had them back to me like within a week of me getting them out. I mean, it was great. You have to know. And then I'm communicating with the guy regularly. Okay, your claim has been turned in. Okay, this, because I might need some additional documentation from this guy. And if I do, I really want to make sure that I have everything set up the way that it should be. At that point, I email them though. So the first one is I explain the contracts. I say it 2 or 3 times. And then I go ahead and I email them the contracts. And then something like a priority mail, FedEx, an envelope that they're going to get with a return self-addressed envelope is huge. And if they don't seem like a go-getter, I offer to send the notary there. I'll say, hey, you know what? I can get my notary out in your area. I can have them out there in the next couple of days. I'll have my notary give you a call. They'll go ahead and they'll arrange for the signing. And if you're in agreement with your permission, we can go forward. When I say with your permission, it gives them a sense of empowerment, which people need. Again, let's backtrack here because I'm trying to break this out in steps. So what I do is I first of all explain it verbally to them. This is what an assignment of interest is. It allows me to collect the funds on your behalf. Or I don't say it allows me to collect, it will allow us to go in and collect the funds on your behalf is what I say. I don't say I deposit the funds, which I do. I don't say any of that because people say, whoa, you're going to deposit that? You're going to take that? I'll just say the assignment of interest will allow JD Vista to step in, claim the funds on your behalf, and get you paid, which is exactly what I do. The second one is what's called the contingency agreement. With the contingency agreement, fees between you and I, and it outlines what we're allowed. By the way, it's in the contingency agreement that if we don't collect for any reason, you pay nothing. Like, I make that very clear. Because when people, the number one question I get is when they hear my corporation, which is JD Vista, they say, oh wow, is that a law firm? And I say no. And I had one person one time say, hey, you got a law firm on the phone wanting to talk to you about an overtime property. No, I'm not a law firm. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not even going to pretend to be a lawyer. I'm with the California Corporation. We do this professionally, and we get people paid on their funds, and that's what we do. So verbally, you really explain it. You make it sound simple. 2 agreements, boom, very simple. Then email, I write out again, the assignment of interest. This will allow JD Vista to collect and intercede and process the funds on your behalf. Contingency agreement, this is an agreement between you and JD Vista. That will allow JD Vista to get paid for working with you. Boom, I email that to them directly. Then I ask my client, when is the best time to follow up with you? If they say, like, I'm gonna go and mail you the forms on Monday, you should have them by Wednesday, I'll call you Thursday. What is the best time to follow up with you? If they say I'm working Thursday, I pause, okay, I'll just say, when would you like me to check in with you? And if they say, I don't know, I'm working all the time, that's not a good sign. And I'll just say, okay, I'm here at your service to work with you. I want this to be as convenient for you as possible. What if I call you after your shift on Thursday? What if I call you? What if I text you? Although I don't like texting as much, and some people do it and they're fine with it. One of the reasons why people don't get contracts back is because they do what I call electronic communication. I have a whole video on this. They talk to someone, they're scared to death, they slur their speech, and I tend to talk fast, it's who I am, but they, oh yeah, you gotta do this, and blah, 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 and they slur their speech. They get these contracts out there. Wow, I got a deal. And then they email them and they never hear from the person again. Well, the person doesn't fully understand what they're doing. And electronic communication, it's good in some circumstances, but you don't want to hide behind it. You don't want it to be your only means of communication. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you can't email or text or follow up, but you need to be hearing your client's concerns and you need to be hearing anything that they have, especially if they have to send you personal information. Now you're asking them to do something a little scary and you're asking them to really go out of their comfort zone, okay? So I always want to follow up with the call. Now, if they really have a legit excuse, they say, you know what, I work the graveyard shift and I'm picking up my daughter from school, my wife's out of town or what have you, by all means, absolutely. I'm not going to say, oh, you know what, I can't text you, it has to be. No, by all means, work with your clients. Okay, if I text you Thursday afternoon and just make sure you got the contracts and everything, is that okay? And can I text you at this number? And again, you're kind of meeting your client's needs. And then once you call them, you want to explain the contracts again. Okay, I see you got the contracts, unless you send the notary out. If you send the notary out and they agree, it's usually a home run at that point. Hard mail them the contracts, they get them. Now you're going over the phone, and then they have to have them notarized to get them back to you. And you explain them, okay, you got the assignment of interest, or that'll allow us to go ahead and intercede and collect on your behalf. And then you have the contingency agreement. This is the agreement between you and JD Vista. When can we get these signed back to us? Or can I have my notary stop by? Usually if my notary's involved, I don't hard mail them the documents. I just have my notary call them and set up an appointment and then go down there with the documents and give them a copy, and that usually works good. So there's a few main ways that I talked about getting funds, okay? The way I first do it, and let's just recap because I've gone over a lot of info, is I explain the contracts on the phone, I explain the contracts in the email, and I send out a notary with the contracts. That is the preferred way. That will usually get me the contracts back every single time. The second way is I explain the contracts on the phone, I explain them on the email, I go ahead and I will have them send the contracts back to me once they get them notarized, which I've gotten plenty of contracts back that way. That does work as well. That's the second way. The third way is I will explain the contracts. I won't show them the contracts, and this is what one of my coaches does. This is not my way, but this coach is like slam dunks almost every single time I get contracts back. He makes sure that they're at the computer, he'll show them and explain them at the computer, and then arrange for a notary right there. And those are ways that you get the contracts back. I will say, and I have a whole video on this on the F-bomb, It's all in the follow-up. It's like you're a professional business person, you're doing this business professionally, you gotta follow up and you gotta be doing this business. Hey everyone, I hope this was helpful. I know I kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but 3 main ways of getting your contracts back that I went over. There's other ways too. I mean, people have their own rhythm or their own style. Do me a favor, if you like this video, give me a like. Again, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Click the notification link as I do a lot of live events and I'd like you to be able to be on there or be one of my lucky winners. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next video.